Well, I'm back. Unfortunately, today's vlog is coming from my front room rather than my studio because the light in there is terrible and the overhead light in the room is not helping. So I'm coming from here today because the natural light is here rather than over there. Um, so I'm just settling back into my at-home routine, and I'm suffering from a little bit of clutter overwhelm at the moment. My parents I go and see my parents every 3 months for 2 weeks, and in that 3 months, they keep all their boxes and packaging from incoming packages that I can sort through and take home what I think I can use. It helps to keep costs down. It means that I don't have to charge my customers for postage. And whilst that is all great for the business in terms of saving money and recycling and upcycling, which is a big thing about what my business is all about, it does create space issues because I might sometimes come home with a couple of rubbish sacks full of packaging and boxes, and I have to stick it somewhere until I get to use it. And I try to pack everything down and be organised, but it's taking up a lot of room. What I need to deal with that problem is more sales, obviously. One of the other clutter problems I have is that I also sell on Vinted. Now, I use it for myself to declutter things that I own, but I have 3 sets of people, one being my parents, one being an old school friend, and one being a couple that I do a cleaning job for, who have declutters and then give me the things that they want to get rid of, and it tends to be shoes and clothes. And again, whilst that is all very well, it takes up room, and selling on Vinted is not a quick source of income. Although some things go very fast and you can usually tell what's going to sell quite quickly, some things might sit there for quite a while, even if you've only got it up for, say, £1. So you need to be patient and you need to have room. And at the moment, because I've just come back from my parents and I have all these extra boxes and bits of packaging, and I've been tidying up and trying to reconfigure the jigsaw of things in my studio, I'm looking at everything and feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I've been adding a few things to eBay, decluttering a few things of my own, including a road bike, a bicycle, and a turbo trainer, which is something you can attach to the back wheel of a bike to turn it into an indoor exercise bike. And I did that in 2020 when we went into the lockdowns and used it effectively for a while. And now I've had enough of it because I'm not using it. I'm going to try a different tactic for getting more exercise, but I need to get rid of these things. So I've been adding these things, and I'm selling them, which is good. One has now sold. The bike I still have to offload, which I think is going to be a bit more difficult. And I'm just trying to get rid of stuff that I've been meaning to get rid of for a long time and just haven't got around to. It's just my own fault. So that, with the approach of mid-autumn and the feeling that winter is coming and it's quite oppressive, has not been happiness making. But we just continue on. I have all new things up in my shop. I have had a recent success with my Shopify store, and I have finally worked out how to set up a newsletter. I was worried that I was going to end up with something that was going to be a lot of work, something that I wouldn't be able to stick to. But I've set it up through Shopify using the Shopify email and the Shopify forms. And it wasn't too difficult. When I was away at my parents', there's less distractions, so I sat down for a day and tried to work out how to do it. And it's official. I now have a newsletter. And I didn't realise that I had some people already subscribed to my website. So there are some people that have probably now had that newsletter, or I know I have because I've seen the click rate and the open rate. I have also set up a newsletter for anybody who signs up anew, so they get a little welcome. And I'm going to be trying to send something out. I'm going to try not to overdo it, and I think that will be easy because I think that I'm just not very good at being organised when it comes to sending things out like this. So I'm aiming for a newsletter per month, and they're going to be short and sweet. It'll have links to new products, a latest video, and a quick hello. I don't want to overwhelm people, because I know when I've subscribed to things and then you get absolutely bombarded with stuff that you don't want to read. So I'm trying to do that. So that is now set up, and that's something that I should have done a long time ago, and finally I've done it. Oh dear, I'm just no good at all this marketing stuff. I was chatting with an old school friend who I meet up with when I go back to my parents. She works but also has her own little side business in upcycle and recycle furniture, where she'll rescue a bit of old furniture. She doesn't go for cheap stuff, it's nice quality, often vintage furniture, and she repaints it and redoes it, and she makes some fantastic stuff. And she was doing really well on there until, I think it was something that Facebook changed, because she always sold on Facebook Marketplace and did really well. I've never had any luck on it. Anytime I've tried to sell something, I've just been bombarded by scammers, and I hated it. But she used to do really well. And then Facebook changed something on Marketplace, and her sales dropped through the floor. And then, like me, and probably roughly about the same time, she just lost her creative mojo and hasn't really done anything for a while. She has another job, so the pressure's not on. She has other challenges, of course, because it's furniture, and she lives in a small 2-bedroom house with her partner, and upcycling furniture, she doesn't have anywhere separately to do it, so it happens in the house. So say for instance she buys a chest of drawers to upcycle, she has to do that in the front room. It gets recycled there and painted and whatever, and then she has to put it somewhere until it sells. So she has space issues, but she's very selective about what she buys, so she'll only have so many things on the go at once. But she's been trying to get back into it like me. She had this massive creative block and just didn't want to do it. And I said, look, if it's like that you can't fight it if your brain just says, I don't want to do this for a while. And one of the problems is that even when you're running a creative business, it's not just creativity, it's not just making pretty things and sewing and having fun with little bits and pieces and finding inspiration. You still have to do all the marketing, you've got the admin, you've got to sort out the sales, the photographs, the listings, all that sort of thing. And even when you're not making things, you are still thinking business. So it never ever stops. I never stop thinking about work. And that might be me watching the TV in the evening and having a quick look through Pinterest, looking for ideas for new creations. It might be that I've had an email from someone on Etsy or Shopify and they want to ask me a question about something. So it never ever actually stops. You don't actually switch off. So it's no wonder when, you just think, that your brain just goes, do you know what, I don't want to play this game anymore. Because it doesn't stop. And then of course the other problem is that although it doesn't stop, other work has to happen because you have to have an income. So even though my creativity stopped, I had all the other little side hustles and all the other income streams which still needed attention, because they were all that were then giving me the money that I needed to pay my bills and my rent and things like that. So it wasn't as if I completely switched off and took a year out. It wasn't a sabbatical. It was just me focusing harder on other ways of making money. But then, thankfully, the creative streak came back, and I'm getting back into it now. I have to think carefully about what I want to make, though, because I have a lot of stock. If you look at my Shopify store, you will see I have a lot of things for sale. And as I've already explained in this post, limited space. There is a space issue. So I don't want to make lots of new things that then also don't sell. I have lots of garments for sale, I have a lot of jewellery, I have a load of coasters and all the other bits and pieces, and I need to focus on selling some of what I've already got before I start making any more new stuff. So do have a look. There's like 400 or 500 items in my store. It's all categorised so you can find things. It just makes life a bit easier for you. Everything I make is a one-off, so if you see something you like, if it sells, it sells. I don't recreate again. So have a look. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but obviously that end of the year is coming. And for some people that's a lot of pressure to buy stuff for people, for others it isn't. And that's why I have quite a range of prices in my store. So if you want to buy someone a little token present, a friendship gift, a little something for their home, I have things available which are not going to break the bank, which are completely unique. So if you buy something from the store, it is completely unique. And at least, you know, in my way, I feel that that's money better spent, because it's not some generic tat, and it's not paying for a CEO's luxury apartment in whatever city he lives in or she lives in. Anyway, so that's oh, I'm waffling today. Oh dear. I'm back, but I'm not really organised. I've had to deal with eBay sales, Etsy sales, all sorts of bits and pieces, and I've been darting around getting myself organised and back into the swing of things. So that's my post coming home update. I think I'm doing quite well with being organised in terms of getting updates, because I was really bad for a while with just putting something up once a month, which isn't really enough for a YouTube channel. I'm trying to get something in every couple of weeks, and it is making a difference. I've suddenly got a lot more followers, which is fantastic. We are a very small channel, and I've noticed the traffic upticks to the shop. I am noticing different behaviours. So I know it works. I have to keep going, and that's why I decided to instate the newsletter. If you want to sign up to the newsletter, just go into my website, and after about 20 seconds a little pop-up will appear on the screen, and you can just fill in your email, and then you will be subscribed, and then you'll get your welcome email, and then hopefully you will only get something once a month or so. And it's just to remind you that I'm there. It's not a hard sell. And I hope that it doesn't annoy you. If you don't want to sign up, don't sign up. The website is there. You can follow me on the YouTube channel. Different people like to get their updates in different ways, so I thought I'd add it. It's not going to be intrusive. It's not going to be over the top. So I hope that adds to your enjoyment. It's all on a very small scale, and frankly I like it like that, because overwhelm is a bit of a thing when you work for yourself, when everything is down to you. Anyway, so that's my little update. Less waffling. It's about to rain outside, so it's getting darker and darker. Oh dear. It's we are at the end of the first week of October or thereabouts, and yeah, autumn's most definitely here. So I'm going to go now and let you get back to your day. I hope you're all well. Have a good day, and I will speak to you again soon. See you soon. Bye bye.